least doesn't mean that it was the book I enjoyed the least. It's still a very good book. Yeah, okay. So without further ado, here we have the 10th place. Most of these books I showed to you in previous videos, so number 10 is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. When war orphan Rin aced the Kichu, the Empire-wide test to find the most talented youth to learn at the academies, she surprised everyone. Test officials, the guardians who wanted to marry her off and further their criminal enterprise, and even herself. But being a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not easy at Senegard, the most elite military school in Nikon. Targeted by rival classmates for her color, poverty, and gender, Rin discovers that gods long thought dead are very much alive, and that she possesses a lethal, unearthly power, an aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism that could be the weapon the Empire desperately needs. While Nikara is at peace, its enemy and former occupiers, the Federation of Morgan, bides its time, and the Third Poppy War is just a spark away. Rin's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people, yet as she discovers more about the god that has chosen her, the vengeful phoenix, she fears that winning the war may cost her humanity, and it may already be too late. So about this book, it's the first part of a trilogy, but I haven't read the other two parts, and they are on my TBR, but like at the very bottom. By the way, this book looks thin, right? Yeah, that's 500 pages. They're like Bible thin, these pages. Yeah. So this starts out not really light. It's not like fun at the beginning, it's already pretty serious, but it goes from serious to really, really dark in like 5 chapters, and oh my god, it was so good. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, that's my place 10. 10th place, oh my god. Okay, number 9. I have a very red color scheme for today. The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. Neither here nor there, but long ago, Luli al-Nazari is the midnight merchant, a criminal who, with the help of her jinn bodyguard, hunts and sells illegal magic. When she saves the life of a cowardly prince, she draws the attention of his powerful father, the Sultan, who blackmails her into finding an ancient lamp that has the power to revive the barren land, at the cost of sacrificing all jinn. With no choice but to obey or be executed, Luli journeys with the Sultan's oldest son and one of his infamous 40 thieves to find the artifact. They must survive ghoul attacks, outwit the vengeful Jinn Queen, and confront a malicious killer from Luli's past. In a world where story is reality and illusion is truth, Luli will discover that everything, her enemy, her magic, even her own past, is not what it seems. Now she must decide who she will become. so much for and about the characters. Like, this book made me cry with them and also made me so angry at some of them because they were behaving so irresponsibly, and yeah, emotions. And it's set in the world of Aladdin, and kind of, wait, where does it say? Doesn't say anything. Okay, but yeah, it's like Thousand and Nacht. Is it 1001 nights? It's like a story in that world, kind of. Yeah. I have a feeling this video is gonna be quite long, but I'll put timestamps so you can skip ahead if you already know a book or if you're not interested. Then, number 8. Last Night at the Telegraph Club, from Melinda Lowe. Oh, wrong direction. 17-year-old Lily, who can't remember exactly when the question took root, but the answer was in full bloom the moment she and Kathleen Miller walked under the flashing neon sign of a lesbian bar called the Telegraph Club. America in 1954 is not a safe place for two girls to fall in love, especially not in Chinatown. Red scare paranoia threatens everyone, including Chinese Americans like Lily, with deportation looming over her father despite his hard-won citizenship. Lily and Keith risk everything to let their love see the light of day. This broke my heart. It totally broke my heart. Because it's such a pure love story. Like, love is so pure, and it's just love, you know, but it's also so tragic, and I want to hug both of them. I want to give them a hug. Yeah, definitely recommend. My list is basically just a mix of cheesy romance, tragic romance, and fantasy, and sometimes they're all mixed together. Oh no! Oh my god! Book number 7. And look at that. The page is completely torn. No! I think it's because I jammed this book into my bookshelf when there wasn't any space for it. Anyway, 7th place. I am gonna butcher the title. A far love story, especially with whispering, because you kind of go up with your voice, I think, but I can't do that while whispering so well. Far love story by Loan Lee. If Bao Yuan had to describe himself, he'd say he was a rock, steady and strong, but not particularly interesting. His grades are average, his social status unremarkable. He works at his parents' bar restaurant, and even there he is his parents' 5th favorite employee. Not ideal. If Lin Mai had to describe herself, she'd say she was a firecracker, stable when unlit, but full of potential for joy and spark and fire. She loves art and dreams of pursuing a career in it. The only problem, her parents rely on her in ways they're not willing to admit, including working practically full-time at her family's bar restaurant. I'm so sorry about the pronunciation. For years, the Mai's and Nguyen's have been at odds, having owned competing neighbor restaurants. Bao and Lin, who've avoided each other for most of their lives, both suspect that the feud stems from feelings much deeper than friendly competition. A chance encounter brings Lin and Bao in the same vicinity despite their best efforts, and sparks fly, leading them both to wonder what took so long for them to connect. But then, of course, they immediately remember. Can Lin and Bao find love in the midst of feuding families and complicated histories? It's like Romeo and Juliet, like forbidden love. So it's a little bit cheesy, a little bit predictable. But there was still like a plot twist at the end, I think. And, you know, sometimes you just need some cheesy romance. Yeah, so really enjoyable read. Really, it's an easy read. Also, it's a floppy book. I love floppy books. And yeah, reading it and like the descriptions of the food also made me very hungry. Okay. Then we have number 6, and number 6 is, okay, so I have a few trilogies that I've read multiple parts of, because the one I previously told you about, I only read the first part, but the next one I read the entire trilogy, and I just grouped together because otherwise the top 6 would just consist of like trilogies, and like so I grouped them together. And I chose the third book as a representative, so I won't read you the blurb, because the blurb of the third part is a spoiler for the first part. Yeah. Anyway, I read the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Lee Bardugo. It's, Shadow and Bone, Sage in Storm, and Ruin and Rising. I think I read you the blurb for the first part in another video. And one really cute detail, I thought so, is that on the back of each book it says Soldier, Summoner, Saint. And on each part, the one that's accurate is like colored in. So on the first part, Soldier has color, on the second, Summoner, on the third, Saint. Yeah, and that is in relation to the content of the book. Anyway, it's about Alina Starkov. There's also a series, I'm sure this is like well known, who finds out that she has magic abilities, like she can summon light. And there's this thing in her country called the Fold, which is like a dark wall, like a wall of darkness. And there are monsters living in the Fold. And so with her powers, she has the potential to destroy the Fold, because, you know, darkness, and she can summon light, you know. And the trilogy is about her struggles and her way to power and love story as well. Oh, number 6. And I think the second and third part were even better than the first. Like, the first was amazing, but the other two were even better. Yeah, and the ending's also kind of... If you know the ending, you know what I'm talking about, but it's very sad and happy at the same time, you know, but mostly happy. Kind of depends how you look at it. Okay. Now we're in the top 5, and place number 5 goes to Iron Widow by Jiran J. Zhao. celebrity status that comes with piloting chrysalises. Giant transforming robots that battle the aliens beyond the Great Wall. Their female co-pilots are expected to serve as concubines and sacrifice their lives. When 18-year-old Etienne offers herself up as a concubine pilot, her plan is to assassinate the ace male pilot responsible for her sister's death. But on miraculously emerging from the cockpit unscathed after her first battle, she's declared an Iron Widow, the most feared pilot of all. Now that Etienne has had a taste of power, she sets her sights on bigger things. The time has come to stop more girls from being sacrificed. There is a second part announced, and I cannot wait because it ends on a huge is an understatement. It's like a gargantuan plot twist, and it ends with one person almost dying that she desperately wants to save. That's a spoiler, I'm sorry. I think I read this in like a day, basically. I was so captivated. And the world building is really interesting. Mostly when I read fantasy, it's not all like Middle Ages fantasy, but it very much goes in that direction of like traveling by horses, and if it's like modern, they have like oil lamps, you know. Like it's not all in European Middle Age setting, but it's mostly like historical fantasy in the sense that it's in a time where electricity and stuff didn't exist, and this one is like different. So from a standpoint of society, they're like very much old, like they bind their women's feet, and as the blurb already told you, there are very clear role models, but they have like TVs and giant robots and all kinds of amazing technologies. So it's a really interesting mixture, I think. Yeah, well, sci-fi, I guess. And I guess that's also a spoiler, but there is a love triangle that ends with polyamory, and I love that. I love that so much. Okay, number 4. And oh my god. One last stop by Casey McQuiston. I always want to call her McQuinston. For cynical 23-year-old August, moving to New York City is supposed to prove her right. That things like magic and cinematic love stories don't exist, and the only smart way to go through life is alone. She can't imagine how waiting tables at a 24-hour pancake diner and moving in with too many weird roommates could possibly change that. And there's certainly no chance of her subway commute being anything more than a daily trudge through boredom and electrical failures. But then there's this gorgeous girl on the train, Jane. Dazzling, charming, mysterious, impossible Jane. Jane with her rough edges and swoopy hair and soft smile, showing up in a leather jacket to save August's morning when she needs it most. August's subway crush becomes the best part of her day, but pretty soon she discovers, oh my god, so many S sounds. There's one big problem. Jane doesn't just look like an old school punk rocker, she's literally displaced in time from the 1970s, and August is going to have to use everything she tried to leave in her own past. Oh. And August is going to have to use everything she tried to leave in her own past to help Jane. Sorry. Maybe it's time to start believing in some things after all. servant Priya forced to disavow her power and her birthright because of her past, dreams of freedom. In a world beset by wild magic and turbulent uprising. My throat just made a weird noise, I don't know. Their destinies will become irrevocably tangled, and together they will set an empire ablaze. I loved it. It's lesbian, and the fantasy elements are also like, it's fantasy and it's awesome. So many compelling characters in this one and in the sequel. Oh my god, and in the sequel there was so much pain, so much suffering, so much unaliving and missing people and seeing them but not being able to have them, you know, like a lot of forbidden love in both parts, and like family ties and tragedy, and I can't wait for the third part. Please, Dasha, hurry up, I can't wait. Then, on the second place, I've showed you this one in February. She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Buckachon. In a famine-stricken village, Sia shows two children their futures. For the boy, greatness. For the girl, nothingness. But China in 1345. Yeah. I get confused with my numbers because in Germany you wouldn't say 45, you'd say 5 and 40. So I get confused. But China in 1345 is under harsh Mongol rule, and for peasants, greatness only appears in stories. The Zhu family is mystified as to how their son Zhu Zhongba will achieve such success. In contrast, an early death for a mere daughter is only to be expected. Yet when a bandit attack orphans the two children, it's Zhu Zhongba who dies. Desperate to survive, his sister steals his identity to enter a monastery. There, disguised as a male novice, Zhu learns she can be ruthless to avoid her fate. But when her sanctuary is destroyed, Zhu is cast back into the war-torn world. To change her ending, there's only one thing she can do: claim her brother's great destiny as her own. Oh my god, I loved it so much. It's such a great book. You know, some of these books were on my list and I had read them in like January or February and I couldn't remember like what really happened. It was a bit blurry. But this one I will never forget. There's a part 2 announced, but I haven't read it yet. And it can be read as a standalone. Oh, it smells so good. Sorry, that's weird, but yeah, it does. And I loved it. I loved it so much. My absolute favorite part was that there were some fantasy elements, like someone praying to the gods and then a bridge falling into the river, like that kind of stuff. But all of them could be explained in a rational way as well. So like with the bridge, I think I made that one up, but yeah. It was like, okay, either it's the gods intervening or it has rained for a week. The ground's been muddy and then there are like hundreds of people and horses running around and turning up the ground even more. So it's like there's two ways to explain those phenomena. And that was so interesting, like working out both ways. first place absolutely knocked me out of my socks. Like the first place, I got to it in a minute. But yeah, this is the best book. If it hadn't been for the best book, obviously it's in second place. First place. The biggest book today. The Final Strife by Sarah L. Aravi. I showed this to you already and I ranted about it already, but it's also a trilogy and there's also been a second part that's been announced, but it's not out yet. It comes out in May, I think, and I can't wait. Silent dreams of her days growing up in the Resistance. When she was told she would spark a revolution that would free the Empire from the red-blooded ruling class's tyranny. A spark that was extinguished the day she watched her family murdered before her eyes. Honor has been told that she's nothing, no one, a disappointment, but the only person who matters, her mother, the most powerful ruler in the Empire. But when Syla and Honor meet, a fire burns between them that could consume the kingdom and their hearts. Asa moves through the world unseen by the upper classes, so she knows what it means to be invisible. But invisibility has its uses. It can hide the most dangerous of secrets. Secrets that can reignite a revolution. And when she joins forces with Syla and Honor, together these grains of sand will become a storm. As the Empire begins a set of trials of combat and skill designed to find its new leaders. The stage is set for blood to flow, power to shift, and cities to burn. This book did so many things to me. I loved the characters, loved the romance, loved the story, the storytelling, the world it's set in. I've never had a fantasy world feel so alive and rich and real. Yeah. It's, oh my god, I cannot recommend this enough. It's like, it's the best book ever. I'm sorry I don't make the rules. And there were so many plot twists thrown in as random information. Like, okay, that sounds bad, but there were things that happened that I thought would be huge plot twists, but then they were like random information, and then the actual plot twist came, and I was like, oh my god, like the plot twist itself was a plot twist. It's so amazing. I think I did like a whole rambling video about it, but it was inaudible, so you didn't even, yeah, look at this and take a screenshot and buy it. Literally, it's so amazing. Okay, that was it for the top 10. I will now be mentioning my honorary mentions and my TBR. Also, with the other books I read, it's not that they were all bad, but I left out mostly German books because I also read in German, and I left those out almost completely. One of them almost made the list, but then was pushed down to the 11th place, so yeah. And I also left out books I reread, so books that I had already read. And I only included books that I read for the first time this year. Yeah. So, or honorary mentions. First of all, This Poison Heart and its sequel, This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Bayron. Absolutely amazing. Then Good Omens Dragons by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. Very funny. It's about Armageddon. I'm sure you know it. There's also a series on Amazon Prime. Amazing. And then Young Mungo by Douglas Stewart. It's like kind of Last Night at the Telegraph Club, but in Scotland instead of America. And also it's gay and not lesbian, and it's a little different. It's crueler, but still so tragic, and yeah, again. And then books on my TBR. I currently have 12 books on my TBR, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books that aren't out yet, because on my TBR I only have books that I already own, and then I have a separate list of books where I write down when they come out so that I can buy them. So I have like 21 books that I'm currently wanting to read. But the ones I want to mention here, because I've heard good things about them, are The Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern. The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, and Babel by R.F. Kuang. These are the ones I'm looking forward to reading the most, so I thought I'd mention them here. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little rambly video. I'm guessing you aren't asleep right now, but I hope you have an amazing night and that you fall asleep quickly tonight. And I'll see you in my next video.